Once again, everyone, it's your boy Mundo, aka Destaker, aka Mondes aka Mr. AKA himself. As always, I'm here live with my guys Triple J and Shane O'Mac. Fellas, what's going on? We have a ton to unpack from tonight's show, and why not get started with the last thing that we saw, which was Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against a gamed Jinder Mahal with his cronies in the background. It was a great match, in my opinion, to close out the show. A lot of hype, and I'll say, last 2 minutes of the show was very hyped because it was a lot of false finishes. Shane, what do you think? And then Jay, you can follow right behind that.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to also say happy MLK Day to everyone out there that's listening, as well as the fellas here at the table. For I also agree, for if it wasn't for him, it's possible that we would not have this table here today. So thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And by the way, Des, you forgot to give us our 3 bells.
Hey,
There's
look,
our bells.
I don't have all the electronics that you have at your disposal, so I thank you for doing that, my brother. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're very welcome. And speaking of welcomes, once again, Seth Rollins has proven as to why he is the next GOAT. Look what he had to face today. He had to face against up to four guys that had targets on him, and yet he still prevailed. But I will give shout out to Jinder. Jinder gave one of his best performances in a very long time. I will give him a shout out for that. But Seth, once again, he has proven as to why I like him, and he has proven as to why he is a champ, because he is a champ and will continue to be a champ. Jay?
Happy MLK Day to everybody, and God bless. Welcome to the show. And like my other guy said, if it wasn't for him, there'll be no us. And on that note, this fight was a banger. It delivered from beginning to end. Even with Priest being out there sitting and waiting to cash in, till damn Drew came and spoiled it all because the crowd was anticipating the cash in. Kudos to both wrestlers, Jinder and Seth, for putting on a heck of a show. You know, Seth is the man. He's showing it time and time again why he's that guy and why he's deserving of being that number one guy with the spot at the moment. And with Jinder, bro, kudos a lot. That Colossus move is dangerous. If he was to hit it that second time, I would say we would have been seeing a new champ tonight. You know, it was definitely a 4.5 out of a 5-star match because of every stipulation that was going on during it, and it just makes me more anticipating. I'm anticipating to see what happens at the Rumble. Mundo.
Well, thank you guys for your input on the match. Um, the outcome of the match actually, it made me think further ahead. So, will Seth Rollins get a break like his counterpart Roman Reigns, he's been given breaks damn near the entire 2023? But will Seth Rollins get a break at the Royal Rumble? Will he finally have a pay-per-view where he does not compete? Or will they somehow, some way, scrounge up an opponent for him we only have one more Raw to go. So what is your opinion on that, Jay? And then we'll go to Shane after that.
From what I've been saying since earlier, I got a feeling, they might throw him in the Rumble just for the fanfare, but he's deserving of taking a break because, man, he's been on a heck of a run. We've seen him fight the best of the best, you know? Shit, you're close to home. Might as well just take the much needed rest off. I would think Triple H gives him a thank you on being that guy and being number one for the company at the moment. So yeah, he definitely needs some time off, maybe 2 weeks the most, and then come back fresh.
You know, this is one of the reasons why we love Seth. Yes, he could have always have taken a break. Look at all the pay-per-views from last year that he could have taken a break from, but he didn't. Look at all the Raws that he could have taken a break from, but he didn't. And yes, it's possible that he can even take a break for the Royal Rumble because what are you fighting for? But you're not. Of course, he can always take a break, but he doesn't want to. He wants to go out there and he wants to fight. He wants to entertain. He wants to party as much as he possibly can because he knows as well as all of us knows that there's going to be a time where he just have to stop altogether. So he is on the top of the mountain right now. Why would you want to stop? So to answer the question, he is going to find some way to participate in the Rumble. Yes, he could use a break, but he doesn't want a break. And that's why I love him.
And I respect both of your opinions. Me, I'll give a quick answer on this. I think because of the fact that we're gonna get a WWE Universal Championship match at Royal Rumble, I think that they might give Seth the night off. That doesn't mean that he won't show up. Maybe he'll do a little promo in the back or something like that, or he might come up to the announce desk during the men's Royal Rumble to just watch stuff you know out front. But I don't think he will compete at Royal Rumble. It just is. It would be rushed if they would try to have a match with him being featured. And plus, we all know that now, especially since they added the women's Royal Rumble to the pay per view, it's already a long pay per view with those two matches, so it's going to be truncated. So I don't see him participating. And while we're still in the middle of the main event, we got to see the beginnings of Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, which is something I've been looking forward to for a while since War Games. And they finally announced the match to happen next Monday on Raw, which I can't wait. I wish we could fast forward these days and get right to it. But before we get to that, it's Monday, and usually on Monday we have our special guest co-host. So I'm going to bring him in, my guy. Well, I can't bring him in, but Triple J, if you can add Trish Rollins to the chat or to the table, I would really appreciate that. You have the star, so you are the man to do that tonight. Um, Trish Rollins, what's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I forgot that it was 11:15, and I forgot I was folding my son clothes.
It's okay. It's okay. The time moves very fast. Once Raw goes off, I looked at the time. I was like, oh man, it's 11:13 already. I'm over here doing rehearsals, and I'm like, oh man, we got to go. So it's all good. Trish Rollins, since you haven't been with us, there you go. Perfect. I was going to let you know that there's one mic. Everybody mutes their mics when they're not being spoken to, or then when they're not talking, so we can just hear everybody clearly. So yeah. My question is, how do you guys think this rivalry with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, how it would end? Do you think that somehow, some way, Damian's uh, briefcase will be a stipulation in a match down the line? Because I know they're not going to have a one-off. It's going to definitely be something next Monday and into Royal Rumble, possibly into the pay-per-views ahead of time. So do you guys agree with me on that? We'll go with Tristan first. Then we'll go with Triple J and then Shane O'Mac to close us out.
I actually think that's a good match between each other because they both have anticipated hype that we can, live for. But a little off topic, I actually wanted Jinder Mahal to win the match against Seth Rollins. I really did. But going back to the topic that you asked me, I do think that they should have a good match between each other. Damian Priest and I just think that they both match each other's style.
So do you see their match leading into a longer storyline? And like I said, do you see it ending with a stipulation where Damian Priest's Money in the Bank briefcase becomes, a part of the story?
I don't see the briefcase coming a part of the story, but I do think though that when it comes to them, I do think that it's going to be a match at the Rumble. A little rivalry that's built, but long term, I just don't think that it's going to last too long, and the briefcase won't be involved, and none of that.
As far as the way I'm thinking about this between Drew and Priest, I really feel that there's just one of two guys that's gonna be inside the elimination chamber when it all comes down to it all. Because basically we saw the Cody and Drew thing earlier, which gave me the idea, okay, fine, these guys might be the first two entrants inside the elimination chamber, and now you're adding Drew as the third man to that match. So, I was one who was thinking that they might fight for that Money in the Bank, but now just thinking about it more, the field is starting to stack itself up for Elimination Chamber. They kind of gave us the preview already, and they already threw in Punk's name, and Punk is one who's already been written on for Elimination Chamber. So I can see already those four guys entering the chamber come next month, and I would say the stipulation for the Money in the Bank will probably come after the chamber, which will probably be at Mania. I wouldn't be too surprised if they fought for Money in the Bank at Mania, and right there, someone, either one of the two guys cashes it in. And shout out to my guy Coast in the background. I see you, boy. Blessings, my brother.
First and foremost, let's give the 3 bells to the newest guest on the table, Tristan Rollins. 3 bells for you, as well as a special shout out and 3 bells to Coast to Ghost. We see you, baby. We see you sitting there listening. Thank you for joining. Everybody else, thank you for joining in. All right, here we go. Mr. Crying as Drew, huh? You want to come and crash the party once again? He opened up the show, talking and crying, and then at a certain point, we didn't even know what the hell he was talking about, because in our own chat, we was just drifted off into the universe. And it was just a talk, it was a talk a jab between Drew and Katie. So, whatever. So, moving forward, you're asking about Damian Priest versus Drew. Let me tell you something. Damian Priest is going to put that little baby over his shoulder. He's going to feed him his formula. He's going to burp him, and then he's going to put him to sleep. He's going to put him to bed. Enough is enough already. And I have a feeling that once again, after again and again, just as Priest is about to cash in, here comes Crybaby Drew, Baby Drew. Here he comes again to ruin another chance. So on Monday, I'm anticipating, and I want to see, and I think we are going to see Priest finally putting Crybaby Drew to bed. Dez?
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for your opinions. Yo, Coach, what's good, my guy? Thank you for showing up. Thank you for looking out. I'm actually play your note first before I move anything forward. Tristan, watch out.
Yo, Tristan, man, put some flavor on your avatar. That shit's looking like real bad compared to the other two. You know what I mean? The other three, I should say. You can actually fix up your avatar, or you could change it to a picture. But you know, that's on you. I was just saying, as an audience member, that shit look crazy up there.
Tristan, yeah, definitely, bro. But anyways, out of all of y'all responses, I actually want to go back to Jay. Jay, since you said what you said, you're actually making my mind and my wheels turn. You know that I do the booking on our show from time to time, and I can actually see what you're talking about. I can see Drew and Damian and Punk being in the Elimination Chamber, you know, because we've been talking about it being a SmackDown Elimination Chamber. But what if Cody wins the Royal Rumble and chooses to go towards Roman? That still leaves, you know, Seth without a challenger, and it would be perfect actually to set up Elimination Chamber for a Raw Elimination Chamber. And like you said, it looks like it's going to be Drew and Damian and Punk. But I still feel that Damian and Drew is not going to be a one-off. It's going to lead to something down the line. And, you know, Damian has until July to cash in that Money in the Bank before it expires. I don't think we've ever seen anybody carry it that long and it expired on them. So thanks for bringing that up, Jay. But yeah, let's go to the beginning of the night. I don't like to do segments too much, but Raw opened up with Cody Rhodes, you know, doing what he does is talk. And Drew McIntyre interrupted him, as what he does. And as Shane stated, he was being a crybaby and as usual. And he brought up the fact that, you know, his last match before he came back to WWE was against Cody Rhodes. And Cody was like, yes, 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 I remember all this stuff. And, you know, Cody was like, but in that last match, who was the winner? And, you know, he was like, basically giving off the fact that Cody beat him before Drew came back to WWE. So there's some static there between Drew and Cody, and as we saw last week, it was some static between Drew and CM Punk, and which led to me saying earlier in the chat that, you know, everyone is coming for each other before the Royal Rumble, which seems to be really stacked this year, and that actually leads me to a hot take that I have with the entrance in the Royal Rumbles that we've heard so far on the men's side: Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Shinsuke, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. Um, does WWE need to have special guests this year in the Royal Rumble? I'll go with Shane first. Then we'll hit it with Trish Rollins, and we'll end it off with Triple J.
Yeah, of course, it's tradition to have somebody just out of the pocket to come in for a few minutes, wave at the crowd and say hi, and then immediately get knocked off and wave goodbye. I totally see someone from a totally different, how you say, like a totally different organization that come in. What was that phrase that we used when last time Nikki James, she came into a Rumble as a champion. She literally had the championship belt and came into the WWE Universe, into the Royal Rumble. So absolutely, you're talking about what, 30 superstars coming into the Rumble? I see many surprises coming in, as well as, of course, our top hitters.
I
Period.
pers- I personally think, right, it's a tradition to always have like a surprise return, for the Royal Rumble for the fans to get hype about, even though they're going to get knocked out, like Shane said, immediately, do a few moves here and there and then just get knocked out. But going to coast to coast, I'm just joining this app, so I don't even know how to change my profile picture, none of that.
Well, traditionally, yes, I can say we will be getting someone, at least maybe one surprise. But this year just feels totally different as to where, all three brands, you combine them together and there should be at least 30 guys. I wouldn't mind seeing some of the youth from NXT come up into this Rumble, such as maybe a Braun Breaker or even a Trick Williams, or Ilya Dragunov, a champion, to come down into this and just get their feet wet, you know. But if we're just thinking about it, traditionally, yes. Me, I feel this year, no. We got to go on a different angle this year. It's a new era under Triple H, and he always has a surprise up his sleeve with a major guy, whether it's The Rock, or giving us gender bait. But you know, I feel this year he should just let it breeze and just let it be. Let your superstars earn more fan appreciation is what I want to say. That's
All right, so that's two yeses and a no, and I'll go to the side of no because of the fact that who else is there? You already brought back Punk. You already have Randy Orton, but he's not even in the Royal Rumble. He's fighting a separate match. I don't know if there's any wow factor left because we're getting further into the 2020s, and a lot of the wow factor people are getting older and older. So I just don't see that. But yeah, real quick, I'm gonna play this message by Ghost. I mean Coast. Sorry. Let's get into it.
I didn't know this motherfucker Logan Paul is on wrestling now. Is he any good? I hope I ain't fucking up the subject. Will he be in the Royal Rumble? When is the Royal Rumble? I want to see it. I'll spend some money if I have to. I want to see this shit. Fucking with y'all niggas, y'all got me trying to watch wrestling and shit again.
My guy Coast. Jay, if you can you answer that for me while I actually ruffle some papers over here real quick to move on to the next topic? But can you answer that for me for Coast?
of course Coast. If you want to watch the Rumble, it's the 27th at 8 p.m. It's on Peacock, bro. If you have that app, it's probably what $5.99 a month to get it, or you could just go on a streaming site, and watch it for free on there as well. That's how I usually do my Mondays and Tuesdays. I just go on a streaming pod on the internet on my TV and just lock in, bro. It's gonna be like the All Star game for WWE. Or you get all the heavy hitters in one night, and trust me, you enjoy it. You'll come back here, and shit. You might even have to be the guest host for that night.
Now, before we change the subject, I would like to say that a surprise entrance that I'm expecting for this Royal Rumble is Biggie Langston. That's just a hot take right there. I think that Biggie Langston will surprise the crowd and come back.
All right. Real quick, I'm gonna touch on that again, Tristan, in a second, actually, because I have something involving Big E later on. So I got you. I'm gonna come back to that. Coast, also, just to answer your other question, yeah, Logan Paul is a signed WWE wrestler, and he's currently the United States champion. Yes, they gave a celebrity a championship belt. He is the United States champion, and he should be actually defending his championship at the Royal Rumble against Kevin Owens, which we all, if I'm not mistaken, agreed that he would win the match and probably defend it again at WrestleMania. But yeah, Coast, Logan Paul is a WWE active competitor. Yes, he is. So, just on that same topic, as far as the surprise appearances, now we're going to move on from the hot takes to the WWE rumors. A rumor is that a surprise appearance is going to be made by Sean Waltman, aka X Pac. Um, and here's a quote that he had, though, on Twitter. He said, "I can still go at the drop of a hat, at least for a few minutes." He said, "I can do all my kicks except the one in the corner, and I can do that again with a few weeks training." He said, "I'm at least a month away from taking my shirt off in public, so zero chance I'll be in the Rumble." This was him on January 11th of this year. Uh, as we know, WWE these days, they've been, in the business of refuting a lot of things, and then next thing you know, it turns out to be true. So, do you guys think that X Pac will make a surprise appearance in the Royal Rumble this year? And would you be happy to see him to do his wave and whatnot, like you said, and then get eliminated? Or do you think that's a waste of a spot? I'll go with Shane, Triple J, end it with Tristan, because I don't even think you know who X Pac is. So, go ahead.
Well, thank goodness we're not getting a Triple J and a Mundo Royal Rumble, because according to you guys, you just won all SmackDown or NXT or Raw guys. No special appearance whatsoever. Just, oh, we know him, oh, him, oh, we know him. So I'm glad for that. So, see, look at that. See, I'm talking smack and I forgot what you asked me. Isn't that something? Could you please repeat your question?
No problem, even though you were very rude. I, you, I asked you, will X Pac make a surprise appearance at this year's Royal Rumble? And if he does, would you be excited to see him, or is it just like blah? Or do you think that
God.
someone else should have took that spot?
God, no, we don't need another X Pac. X done. That's what you should call yourself, dude. What's the point? You just gonna once again come in and limp in and then wave and then get like what 10 to 13 seconds in the ring. Please don't waste our time, dude. Just enjoy the memories. If we need to see you in the ring, we can easily go to Peacock where we can see all of your matches. But dude, please do yourself a favor and keep your ass home or buy a ticket.
Thank you
Period.
for thank you for saying that, Shane, because that's why you think me and Des are saying what we're saying. We don't need no special guest, because if it's gonna be a guy like him, you know, it's not too much to get hyped from, because the kids that are growing up watching the wrestlers now, they're gonna be like, who's X Pac? And us, we're gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, it's him. Fine. It's not a big marquee name that you would be like, oh shit, yeah, it's a big name. It's X Pac, aka 1, 2, 3 Kid, aka Six. The only thing that would probably get a loud ovation from him is if he came out to his DX music when it yells X Pac. That's it. Period.
Exactly, because that's the only thing he has to go by. Every single thing that you just said would be the only thing that he can use in order to even get a pop. Never mind the fighting. Of course, it's going to be his music, and of course, it's going to be his graphic and him running to the ring, because that's all he got. So you goddamn right you're going to use all of that, because if you didn't have that, then yeah, there's nothing. And I know you're not building your whole entire argument based on one X-Pac, period.
Okay, so I see tonight we understand the difference between periods and commas. But let me not go into Destaker mode. It's Mundo tonight. I'm your host and moderator. So yes, Shane kind of confused me a little bit because you sound like you're agreeing with us, but then you're disagreeing with us in the same breath. Tristan, would you like to chime in on this? I know you don't really know too much about X Pac. This is before your time, but do you feel that it would be a waste of a spot for anyone else that could have been on the active roster to show up if he does decide to be a part of it?
I feel like it's more like people that can take that spot more than him. I personally don't know who the hell he is. I know of him, but that was way before my time. So I feel like it's more like ruthless aggression era people that people would get hyped about more than him.
Can I make myself clear on something? Because apparently Mr. Dez doesn't understand what I'm saying, because he acting like that I'm talking from two sides or both corners of my mouth. What I'm saying is, what I am saying is that it is tradition for Rumble to have surprise guests to come in. And then you guys are saying, let's not do that because who else is there? And then we're talking about X-Pac, and you're talking about X-Pac as if he is the only big name left. And what I'm saying is, no, he's not the only big name left, and you can't use him to prove your argument. That's what I was saying. And the difference between a comma and a period is a comma is in a sentence, and a period is something that you go through every month, Des. Period.
Oh,
Stop! Stop!
yo,
Pow!
yo,
Pow!
I'm really,
Pow!
I'm trying to compose myself. I'm really not trying to go into Destaker mode. I'm really trying to be
Uh-uh.
on the note and hold this show together. Shane, first and foremost,
Um,
Shane, I said it was a WWE rumor. That's the first thing I said, all right? Rumor. So it doesn't have to be true. And I also said that, would you appreciate him being there, or do you think somebody else should be there? That's also what I said, okay? And I didn't say he was the end-all, be-all for special guest appearances, okay? Let's get that all straight and factual, okay? Because you're starting to piss me off. You're starting to piss me off with this attitude. But I digress. I'm going to get back into my more Wusa mode, and we're going to move this show along. So, after we had the segment with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, we went backstage and we had R-Truth, who was in the back. He's hyped because bro has the top selling 2 T-shirts in WWE right now, and he's in the back selling his shirts, hustling and whatnot. And Damian Priest pops up on him like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing? You can't be selling T-shirts back here like that, being all loud about it and shit." And R-Truth was like, "Yo, chill. I'm doing this for us, doing this for the family." He got into his Vin Diesel mode, and he was like, "Yo, here, take this." And he handed him a wad of cash. And Damien was like, "What's that?" He was like, "Yo, that's your cut." He said, "I got a cut for everybody in the family, everybody in the Judgment Day." And then Priest was like, "Oh, word? All right, cool. Keep selling them shirts, but just, keep it low. Don't be too loud about it." So I found that to be a funny segment within Raw that led into our first match of the night, which was Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough versus DIY. Um, I thought that was a hell of a match, especially to start off the night. Really, really, really feeling Dominic Mysterio's, like, his elevation. I like that they put him into a tag team with JD. So we can talk about that real quick. I have a question going into the same match. So you can talk about what you liked about the match or whatever like that. But I also want to know, uh, with another L, what's next for Dominic and JD, because they keep just racking up these L's every time they tag together. So I want to hear what you thought about the match, and then I want you to answer that question. So we'll go with Tristan first, Shane, you'll go last, and we'll go with Triple J after Tristan, and Shane's last, like I said. So yeah.
Yo, what was the question again?
The question was, with another L, what's next for Dominic and JD, as far as, like, being, they keep getting yelled at by Judgment Day. So, like, what will be the next step? What would be like a punishment for them for taking all these L's? It's the second L they took with DIY in the last 3 or 4 weeks. So you can give me your opinion about the match, and if you can answer that, I'll be grateful.
I don't know. I don't think there's no angle for them right now. I just think they're the weak links right now.
You don't have no thoughts about the match?
It was a good match. R-Truth is gold, but in terms of JD and Dominic, I just don't think that they meant to play the strong position in it. They just did for the match itself.
Okay, Jay.
My take on the match, we got to see Mr. Pez dispenser himself, JD, deliver another L because, as I've been saying, he is the weakest link in this, and he's letting that R-Truth shit get to his head to the point where him and Dom are straight up just losing every week. And you could see it in Rhea's face, like, bro, y'all keep on losing. But you know what? I'm gonna go take care of my business. And Truth, was straight up telling, bro, you're not a part of this. Because every time you think you're a part of this, y'all lose. Y'all don't win nothing. The only time that JD is valuable is when others are fighting and he has to interfere at a point. That's probably the only thing that will make JD successful upon himself. I'm not a big fan of his because he doesn't need to be in this situation as a tag team. He was better off being by himself, and so is Dom. You know, eventually, whenever this whole aspect changes of when everybody does a split and a breakup, JD will finally probably find himself. He's just lost the same way that this guy from the Brawling Brutes has lost, Pete Dunne, a la Butch. So he needs his own angle, his own wave, because Sonny's gonna just continuously rack up L's with the group. It's just proven that R-Truth is right. You feel me? Doesn't belong in here. You lost. And you're going to take more and more and more L's. So might as well say, bye-bye, JD, Mr. AKA Pez Dispenser.
That's real funny. But you know something, they are the jobbers of the group, the JB group. I mean, yes, I give credit, I give flowers to the do-it-yourself guys. They put on, they put on a good performance, a good show tonight. But at the end of the day, Judgment Day, they have big plans moving forward. They have to keep their tag team titles, which they are going to. Mommy has to keep her title, which she is going to. Now, in terms of Dominique and JD, they are not as important as the bigger picture for the whole group. Yes, they are losing and keep on losing, but their losing is not as much of a distraction as it would be if it was like, let's say, if it was Damien or Finn. If it was them two that was losing the way these two juniors are losing, then yeah, there's something to worry about. But you got these two little junior woodchucks here, you put them in the ring and, they're doing good and then they lose. But meanwhile, you still have Damien and you still have Finn as champions as well as Mommy as champions. So that is what is really important. Now, in terms of R-Truth, something big is going to happen. This is all playing to something real big. This balloon is getting bigger and bigger, and before you know it, it's going to explode, and something real genius is going to happen. You watch and see. Des?
Real quick, Coast. I'm not gonna play your first message because I'll save it for something else that I have later on down the line. But Coast did send a message about our whole special appearance thing. I'm gonna play it real quick.
Yo, Brock Lesnar show up, that would be dope as hell. I mean, the best thing besides Brock Lesnar is The Rock, but, that's highly unlikely. But Brock Lesnar would be dope.
Funny enough, I completely forgot about Brock Lesnar. Bro's been gone for months, but that is definitely a possibility. That would be a curveball, but something that would definitely light up the fans at Royal Rumble. I believe it was Tristan on Friday that touched on the possibility of The Rock. It was one of us. Somebody mentioned it on Friday that it was a possibility that The Rock would uh, be an entrant in the Royal Rumble as well. Um, we'll have to stay tuned for that because I don't know where they're going with all this. There's so much happening in such little time. But thanks for bringing that up, Coast. But yeah. Now with DIY, they done gained 2 victories over Dom and JD in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Do any of you guys think that it might lead to a title match down the line for them against Priest and Finn?
Of
I
course.
do believe. I'm sorry, Jay.
Go ahead. You got it.
I do believe that it will lead to a title match, and they are the most hyped team that's in a championship race right now that can do, a little 1-2s. But I don't know if they will win or not. But I do think though they're in the perfect position to get their title match.
And as far as what I've been saying, I said it last week. I said DIY is going to be the next tag team champions, and I'm gonna keep it that way because we need Priest to cash in or just be singles as far as a competitor. Because now that he got this beef with Drew, it all but sets him up to be a real top guy in the food chain of what we're seeing right now. So yeah, DIY. Let's get these belts. Let's put the man in the middle and let's kick away. Next tag team champions, baby.
Shane, real quick, I just want to jump on what you said. I actually have a question in what you said about R-Truth and the whole Judgment Day thing, but we'll get into that once we start talking about the match that they had a little bit later. So I appreciate you bringing that up. So I will definitely come back to you on that. But go ahead and state your message, my man.
I'm sorry, what is it that you're appreciating? You're appreciating something that I said?
Oh Lord, please, Lord have mercy. Don't don't drag this out, okay? I said that there's something that you mentioned that you believe that there's a bigger thing going on or whatever like that with R-Truth and the Judgment Day, and I said that that's something that I want to touch on, but I want to do that when their match, once we get to their match. So just we'll expand on that a little bit later. That's all.
All right. Copy that. Copy that. So, one of the reasons why I said that is from, well,
No,
see now you're about see now I'm about to jump now.
yeah,
But
no,
like I
no,
said, with
no.
with
The
everything,
question was, will DIY earn a title match soon because of their recent victories over Judgment Day members? Let's stick to the topic, please. Okay, stick to the topic.
okay, you're asking if Do It Yourself will have a title match versus Judgment Day. Is that your question?
Yes, I said it like 3 times. Yes.
Okay, the answer is yes. They will get that title shot. Will they win the title shot? No. That's my answer.
Alrighty then, keep it short and sweet. Okay, you smart ass. Um, we had another match after that, but we'll skip over that because it's not worth discussing. But the following segment after that match was, we went back into the Judgment Day's locker room, and Rhea was pretty pissed off because she saw the Nia Jax promo where Nia Jax was saying, she's coming after. Basically, she said she's coming after Rhea for the belt, and they were all looking at Rhea like, "What you gonna do about that?" And then she said that she was gonna address her division. So she stepped out, and Damian came back, and then he was pretty still pissed off with JD and Dom for losing again, and was basically he told JD to stop worrying about R-Truth, because that's on your mind, but you keep losing these matches because you're not thinking straight. And then he pulled out a wad of cash, the same amount, the same cash that R-Truth gave him, and was like, "What?" They was like, "Where did you get that from?" He was like, "I got it from Truth." He was like, "Matter of fact, you need to go get yours." Talking to Finn and Dominic, and then JD was like, "Well, what about me?" And then Damien showed the shirt. He was like, "Well, I don't see your name on here." So that was something funny and something cool. And then we moved on. After that was the return of Gunther, who's been going for the last 3 weeks or so. Him and Ludwig went down to the ring, and Gunther declared his entrance to the Royal Rumble, which is big because as we saw last year, bro was in the Royal Rumble all the way to the end. That dude was in the Royal Rumble for over an hour and was so close to winning. But as we saw, Cody won. And then they were interrupted by Xavier Woods, who was pretty pissed off because of Ludwig's actions last week on Raw, where he took out Kofi Kingston because Kofi Kingston took out their man's the week before with the drop kick and pretty much concussed him in real life. It was a real life situation where they had to stop the match because he was out of it. And so then Xavier Woods challenged Ludwig to a match, but then he was like, "Well, you got to ask your daddy first if you can take the match." And it was funny because you saw Ludwig and Gunther talking off mic, and it's like Shane brought up, like, "Well, he still asked his daddy for permission," and then Gunther was like, "Well, here, take the mic and say what you got to say." And he eventually did accept the challenge, which led to our third match, which was Woods versus Ludwig. And it was a pretty good match, pretty intense match. Ludwig has been stepping his game up. We all know Xavier can brawl, and the match ended in a DQ. Again, I'll preface this match with a question, but I would like to hear y'all's take on the match itself. The question is, will this match or this story somehow lead to the return of Big E? And saying that, I'm going to start it off with Triple J, who thought Big E was going to be the surprise person 2 weeks ago. Then we can go with Shane and end it with Tristan. Jay?
Honestly, oh, the way it's looking, it could be the return of Biggie. And as I was saying earlier, the New Day ain't the New Day without all three of them together. It just feels weird seeing them all as singles competitors because they're not having that same type of mojo, that fun that they was having in the ring. It's just, Big E makes them complete as to, what they do and how they are to the fans. There's no Francesca, there's no Bootios, there's nothing. They have no momentum at the moment. And even just to have Big E on the side, he doesn't have to wrestle. just be on the side for them will be game changing, because I'm just tired of seeing him and Kofi fight as singles guys because I don't feel they are singles guys. They are a tag team, and this is how we fans grew up to liking these guys over the past, 12, 13 years. We've been used to a three-man group that just, energizes the crowd. We need that back. So, yeah, bring them back.
I actually agree with Jay to the point where I would say that Big E will make his grand return at the Royal Rumble. And we'll probably see a surprise from Kofi because we all know that Kofi to Royal Rumble is like Shawn Michaels to WrestleMania. It's like every year when Kofi was at the Rumble, he did some shocking shit. Whether he would like walk on the ropes or jump on the chair to prevent from touching the floor, he did something that was magical to a point where we was excited to see him because we knew something was going to happen. Some magic was going to happen. So what I would like to see, what I'm anticipating to see, is for all three members of New Day to appear at the Rumble to indicate to us that they are back together with so many fractions that are coming together and being created. We need New Day now to add to this fraction season. So that's what I see moving forward. I do see them getting back together, and they will make their grand entrance at the Rumble.
Tristan, before you go, I actually want to hop on that. Shane, do you think it's possible that while the Royal Rumble's going on, that, you know, somehow, some way, it'll be like one Imperium person and then one New Day person comes in, and then another Imperium person comes in, and then another New Day person comes in, where eventually it leads to all three members of New Day and all three members of Imperium being in the same ring at the same time? Do you think that's something that can happen? Like, you just sparked that in my mind, but do you think that can happen? That would be crazy to me.
Are you kidding me? That one moment where all three of them is face to face while there's other bodies surrounding them on the floor, that would be historic. We will be doing backflips. I know I'm going to be going crazy here and typing on the chat. Absolutely. I would love to see that. See, there you go. You won me back as a fan, Des.
Thank you. So I want to clear that up. So basically, the way I would see it is it would be Gunther and his guys, and then it would be Kofi and Xavier Woods in the ring, and they're staring each other down. And while they're staring each other down, you're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the music hits, and Big E comes running down to even the odds for the 3-on-3, which will probably lead into, Elimination Chamber, whatever that nature. But that would be something crazy. But Tristan, go ahead. The original question was, do you think this will lead to a return of Big E? And you can give your opinion on the match as well.
I hope so because Biggie, it was like the voice of the New Day, and the New Day hasn't really been buzzing since Biggie left. And I hope that it do kind of revive some stuff because they was selling tickets and everything, and Bootios, they took it to the next level. So I really do hope Biggie come back because it would make the New Day better again, and it would make them more must see TV, you know. And I'm sorry, my son's in the background.
No problem. Shout out to my boy Khalil. What up, little cuz? He's crying because he wants to see Big E make a return as well. So I feel you, little cuz, and hopefully we get what we're hoping for in the future. So after that match, we saw a quick 5-second promo from Bronson Reed, and he stated in his promo that there's a man who owns a title that belongs to Bronson Reed. It's pretty short, straight to the point, but Jay, and then Shane, and then Tristan. Who do you think he's talking about? Is it Gunther? Is it Seth?
Yes,
Is it
I
Roman?
I
Who?
feel it's Gunther because they did cross paths in NXT and NXT UK. You know, and as I was telling you on Friday, for the promotion for the PLE that they got coming up in Australia, that why not promote? You know, this is big for Rhea, but then you still got Bronson Reed and you got Grayson Waller. Peep how now they're getting into their own little beefs, real slowly leading up to Elimination Chamber. This is they're gonna get their shine. So I could definitely see Bronson Reed some way somehow being one of those guys in either the Elimination Chamber or challenging Gunther for the IC title at Elimination Chamber. That's what I see.
I didn't hear the speech from beginning to end fully, but what I gathered from that was, okay, where's this coming from? And why are we seeing this now on the day that Gunther is returning? That was telling to me. I see them two going at it. I see them two giving an amazing match, probably one of the best matches that Brunson Reed is going to give us. But at the end of the day, my dollar bill is going into the pockets of Gunther.
Tristan,
I'm sorry, what was the question? I was trying to calm him down.
the question was that Brunson Reed, he had a quick promo saying that there's a man in the WWE who owns a title that belongs to him. And I asked, who do you think he's talking about? Is it Gunther? Is it Seth? Or is it Roman Reigns?
It's Gunther. It's Gunther. Like Brunson Reed is a mid card type of superstar right now. So he's not going to go for big gold right now because he's not in that position. So I do think he's talking about Gunther, and Gunther do need somebody to dethrone him right now.
So I actually agree with everybody because of the fact that he never got a rematch against Gunther because The Miz stepped in and went against Gunther a few times, pay-per-views and Raws. So I do believe that he feels that if he gets another shot, he can beat him. Will he beat him? That's the question that we have to wait and see and find out. But moving on from that, Raw came back from a commercial and Xavier Woods was being interviewed in the back by Byron Saxton. And while he was being interviewed, Ludwig came out of nowhere and started attacking him again after they had their little fallout at ringside after their DQ. And then out of nowhere, Jey Uso came and stopped this attack. And to my surprise, and maybe everybody else's surprise, that was the only time we saw Jey tonight. That was pretty much it. So it's pretty interesting to me. I don't know, maybe creative doesn't know what to do with Jey right now, but that was pretty much all we saw of him for tonight. He didn't even go out to the ring. Then after that, we had a promo for the World Heavyweight Championship match, which led into our fourth match of the night, which was Tozawa versus Ivar. This was a part two to their match that they had 2 months ago. We all probably thought the same ending was going to happen. I know Shane did. But it was a good match, and it ended pretty crazy. And Shane, what was your thoughts on the match and the ending of the match? And then same question for Tristan, the same question for Jay after. Shane?
First of all, don't be calling my name as if I owe you rent money. You was right there when you saw the match. If you call it a match, I don't know what the hell happened. How in the world did that little non-break dancing guy from South Jersey manage to beat big old Ivar? I don't know what happened. I'm still shocked that we even talking about this. That this is even a topic to talk about. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gone. Congratulations to Little Tozawa on your victory, and congratulations on you on becoming a pancake at the end of the night. Period.
Jay?
Well, first of all, Des, you jinxed us because I told you that he was going to get a nice fight tonight. He was going to get some Tozawa power. And look what happened. My boy Powerbomb, son, got the dub.
Ugh.
I
Why
give
did
it
you
to him.
don't expose what we say in the chat, okay? Don't expose what we say in the chat.
Ah, now I can't. You say you can't. Come on.
I don't know what you're talking
Nah.
about. There's no pre-recorded conversation. There's no proof of that, okay?
Mm-hmm. Let me give you the R-Truth wink. Wink. But nah. But nah. I give it to Tozawa because, like I was saying earlier, a lot of the low card and mid card guys don't really get to be shown or display their skills like that. And, we're seeing wins from guys that we least expect. Like, look at this. The Miz got twice as many wins this year than last year, and we're still in the first month of the year. Now look at Tozawa. He's winning a match when he damn near wins probably what? A match in the summer and then maybe a match at the end of the year. He got a match early in the year that he can actually say, look, I beat a big dude. Now he has momentum into whatever plans they got for him because now he's going to be happy. And we're going to see more snaps and dances from him coming next week. So I'm happy for Tozawa Power, period.
Oy vey. Not for nothing. Ivar was on the second rope, and he fell. That's what happened. He fell, and little Tozawa took advantage and he pinned him. But he did not, trust me, Tozawa did not win based on power. He does not have no power. What, Nintendo glove power? What are you talking about, a power drink? He has no power. The only power he used was his quick thinking and took advantage of a fallen Ivar and pinned him. That's how he won the match. He didn't win the match because of his power or because of his strength. He saw that 1 second opportunity and he took it. So that's why I give Tozawa his shout out, because he was smart enough to take the only chance that he will ever win any match. Jay?
Facts, facts. But he still won. That's the matter of fact. He capitalized off of one mistake. That's all you got to do in wrestling. You mess up once, someone takes the next opportunity, and boom, there goes momentum. But he got squashed at the end of the match, pretty much. So it was messed up that they couldn't put Maxine Dupree to fight her next week with Valhalla. They did have put in Miss Little Lex Luger into fighter. So yeah, I'm still gonna be here cheering my guy, Tozawa Power.
Or you mean Tozawa Powder? Because that's all he is powder. Put him on a mirror so we can all snort him up and get high.
We can see him and R-Truth together in the Rumble doing some hilarious stunts in the ring. That's gonna have everybody laughing. Those two guys at the moment are like must see TV. And I would think so because they both bring laughs to the show that, it's needed for them and for us. We all need comedy hour at least once every 45 minutes after they're taking everything else serious. We need that little haha or, just the basic BS. Des, cógelo.
Yeah. So after that match happened, there was an attack by Valhalla on I forgot her name, the chick that rolls with Alpha Academy.
Maxine
Yeah,
Dupri.
Dupree. She got taken out by Valhalla, and then Ivar, as we all know, squashed Tozawa. But it led to the next segment right after that match where we saw Alpha Academy and the Creed brothers, and they were in the back. Maxine and Tozawa were hurt, and then we saw Ivy Nile come in, and she was pissed off because her homegirl Maxine got assaulted. So she went to Adam Pearce and requested a match. So next week we're gonna have Ivy Nile versus Valhalla, and that should be a very interesting match. I don't recall ever seeing Valhalla ever have a match before, so that should be something interesting to see, especially against Ivy Nile, who we recently seen take on Rhea Ripley for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that should be a very interesting match, and the should be interesting too. Jay, you got something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say we have seen Valhalla fight. Remember, she was a part of the Riot Squad with Ruby Riot and Liv Morgan. So she does have something up her sleeve. She didn't fight because of her so-called ACL tear that she had at a house show. So she hasn't wrestled probably, and I would say at least just herself by herself probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years. That's probably as long as the group has been split up. That was all.
Well, thank you, WWE historian Triple J, because I would have never made that connection. Again, I didn't know that, so thank you very much for that. And speaking of Rhea Ripley, after we saw the segment with them, she finally made her way to the ring after saying that she was about 30 minutes before that she was going to address the women's division. She finally made her way to the ring and put the entire women's division on notice. And while she was doing that, she was interrupted by the man Becky Lynch, who came into the ring, and in a very funny way, they just kept circling the ring while Becky was making her points, saying that they have very similar paths, they're very similar people, and because they're both not from this country, but they both wanted to come here and be the best to ever do it. And then Becky said some wild stuff that I didn't think that she would ever admit. I don't think she's ever admitted it to anyone, not to Charlotte, not to Sasha Banks, not to Bailey, but she said that she believes that Rhea Ripley is better than her. And so now her goal is to win the Women's Royal Rumble and face her at WrestleMania to prove that she's better by winning the World Heavyweight Women's Championship. And, Rhea responded by saying, "I'll see you at WrestleMania." So with this tease, Shane and then Triple J, because we lost Tristan. But do you guys see Becky Lynch winning the Royal Rumble and possibly winning the Women's World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania?
That was a very interesting exchange. Very interesting. But at the end of the day, you know what? It's I see the man as the top four. I don't know who's going to win, but I do see her at the top four. But let's say that she does win, and she decides that she wants to face Rhea Ripley because that's what she has to choose, right? Either Rhea Ripley or Io
Io,
Sky. Yes, Io Sky. Yeah,
yeah.
she's totally going to choose Rhea. However, Rhea is going to just mop her. She's going to mop her like all over the ring. She's gonna win at the end, which is just going to prove the man's point that she is better.
Jay?
Period.
I don't see any way for her winning it. And like Shane said, yeah, she's gonna be top four. I can see it that way, but the way they have, like I said, Rhea's gonna headline Elimination Chamber, and she's gonna more than likely defend her belt that night. So I can honestly just look at it as maybe a SmackDown competitor wins the Rumble as far as in the women's side, because I really would think that Nia gets her match with Rhea at Elimination Chamber before she'll get it at Mania, or you know, vice versa. Vice versa, she could get it at the Rumble, but it seems like Rhea's taking the night off for it. So yeah, I see Nia Nia versus Rhea at Elimination Chamber, unless Becky decides to throw her hat into it and makes it a triple threat in Australia for the belts. That's probably the only thing I can think of at the moment.
Okay. We're gonna head back into the WWE rumors and hot takes area. Um, Shane and then Triple J, because Shane, I like to hear your thoughts. Would you rather at WrestleMania Rhea versus Becky or Rhea versus Nia Jax?
For once, that is a damn good question coming from Mr. AKA. That is a very good question because there are two answers that need to be answered, one from each fight. You got the man versus the woman who created the man. And then you have, huh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. What I would like to see at the end of it all is I would like to see Nia Jax as the women's champion.
Jay?
Oh, wow. As I was stating before, you know, that could possibly see Nia and her at Elimination Chamber. Maybe an interference by Becky causes it to be a triple threat at Mania. Because, as Shane was also saying before, you got the person who took the man out, and then, both Rhea and Becky are beefing with Nia, and Nia's in the middle of all of it because she just wants to beat everybody. So, maybe at that moment we'll get the triple threat, and it needs to be done because Becky, with that type of momentum leading into WrestleMania, the fans will want to see her more because she's more of a prime time player. Rhea, this will probably be the biggest moment of her career, second biggest moment of her career besides winning the championship. And for Nia, this could signal the start of a whole new era for her if she wins and is the champion. And we could probably get the era of her that we really needed to see from the jump because I believe that first title run she had was wasted. This one, if she gets it, the opportunity is there to capitalize, and we can see the best of Nia Jax and what she has to bring. My baby's gonna do it. She's gonna be champ soon.
Your baby. I like that. Well, I only asked that because of the fact that, Triple H and his team, they've been teasing a never before seen match, which is Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. And then they turn around and tease tonight Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley you know, both are matches that I would love to see, and I would love to see it at WrestleMania. So would I mind a triple threat match? No. But would I rather a one-on-one? Yes, because of what Rhea and Charlotte delivered last year. To me, was the best women's match of WrestleMania last year, and one of the top matches of WrestleMania last year. You know, I can watch that match over and over again as I've done. So I agree with that. But moving on, we'll stay with the WWE rumors and hot takes area, and Coast, we're gonna finally get to your input. With seeing Triple H, Bayley, and Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, at TNA, do you guys think there's another collab coming this year of WWE and TNA? And also, are we witnessing the return finally of Naomi and Sasha Banks in the year of 2024? So before we get to the guys at the desk, I want to play what Coast sent to us about an hour or so ago.
Yo, Naomi might have to pop out, man. Might have to surprise pop out, you know what I mean? Because she do got to fulfill her contract in order that shit.
So, fellas, one, do you think there's a collaboration coming on between WWE and TNA? And two, will Naomi, and Sasha Banks make surprise appearances at the Royal Rumble this year? And Donatella, thank you for joining in. I'll go with Jay first and Shane to round us out. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say my happy late nights as well to Queen Donatella. Thank you for joining. And as I was saying earlier in our chat, I really think that this collab with TNA, I only think Triple H is scouting the product, knowing damn well in the future this is going to be something that meshes in the long run, and it's going to be game changing to where we could possibly see like there was a PLE before called Worlds Collide, and then we could imagine seeing federations collide now. WWE, NXT, and TNA for a one night only pay per view that will blow it off the charts. You have the champion, their main champion against our champion, against the NXT champion. It'll be like triple threats everywhere throughout the night. Tag champs versus tag champs, mid card versus mid card, top woman versus top woman. This is very interesting to see what it's going to lead to in the future. And of course, I'm going to say yes on the Naomi thing and Sasha as well, because I feel in the Rumble, there's going to be a point where, damage control is going to be surrounding Bayley in the Rumble. And we're going to get that Sasha Banks music, but she's going to come out as Mercedes Moné or changed up and different to save the day. And then after that, you're going to, get the Naomi beat. Everybody's going to go bananas. It's going to be crazy because they're going to set us up for what's up next. And seeing Dolph Ziggler come to TNA, also Top Dollar came to TNA, and then Dana Brooks came to TNA. It makes me also think that what did Triple H really tell him as he was firing them? Is this his master plan as maybe this is going to be my little baby in the future, and I'm sending you guys here to test the waters, see how you like it or whatnot? That's it picks a lot of interest within the brains of how 2024 is going to really be, because it is so much things we can think about right now. That's my say on it.
First and foremost, let's give a special shout out and a special triple bell ring for Ms. Donatella. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. All right, so when we saw that picture of Triple H being at that pay-per-view, the question that came to my mind was, okay, there's two scenarios here. He was either A, scouting, because that's what big guys do. They go to, you go to different organizations and you scout, or you was probably there to possibly cheer somebody on, to say, come back home. And wasn't it on that same night that Naomi lost her title? And I know that that probably wouldn't matter because, again, the whole Pandora's box could have possibly happened for Royal Rumble, and it would have been possible for Naomi to make an appearance at the Rumble as a champion. Again, it has happened before. And I was sharing before, with so much stuff going on in wrestling, this year, 2024, is going to be the most amazing year for us wrestling fans with so much to look forward to. And again, this is Triple H era. This is Triple H. He always has a plan B, something that is totally not even in our thought process. It's like, wow, we never thought of that. So I don't know. But what I do see, if Naomi comes, she's going to be known as Naomi. If Sasha Banks enters, I don't know if she's going to enter as Mercedes. She'll probably enter as her World Wrestling Entertainment name, Sasha Banks, correct?
And Shane, with you saying that, I actually thought of something else. Would Triple H and his creative team, because again, for those of you who haven't been following World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Entertainment action the last few years, WWE's creative has been run by Triple H. Vince McMahon no longer runs anything as far as the company. They done stripped him of his powers, basically. So he has no say-so over what we watch on a weekly basis. So, Shane, I'll start with you, and then Triple J, I'll go with you. Do you think that it's possible that Triple H might hold off on a Royal Rumble appearance by Sasha and Naomi and have some type of situation where, Bayley gets excommunicated from Damage Control and she wants vengeance against them, and it leads to a match where it's Io Sky, Asuka. I can never remember that last girl's name. Jay, help me because I know you know it. The chick from the Kabuki War.
Kyrie saying.
Iris saying, there we go. Thank you very much, Jay. You see that it's the three of them, and they challenge Bayley, or Bayley challenges them to a match at WrestleMania against two mystery partners, which would end up being Sasha Banks and Naomi. Because to me, I think it might actually pay off better to be something happening at WrestleMania versus surprises at Royal Rumble. So Shane and then Jay, do you guys agree with me, or do you guys disagree with me?
I agree that that should happen. I would actually love to see that. That would be huge for a Mania, but that would mean that we won't see them for a Rumble. So it's almost like a catch-22 because we know we're going to see them. We're going to see them eventually. We just don't know where. Is it going to be Rumble or is it going to be at Mania? Because if they come at Rumble, okay, great, we saw them. And then if they come at Mania after appearing on Rumble, that's not going to be the same pop. However, if we do see them at Mania, that pop is going to be amazing. So it's a catch-22. What I would like to see, I would love to see that story that you just described as, or where they come out for Mania and just kick ass. I would love to see that Mania.
I would like to say yes. It's a 3-0 here for all of this. I definitely agree with you guys on it. That you know, let's play the weight game with them, and maybe there's some type of out clause in Naomi's contract that she leaves TNA and it's probably like a 60-day minimum. So we're on a 60-day countdown, and probably that's leading right up to Mania week 4. So, and Mercedes, we don't know what's going on with her at the moment because they teasing 1 minute the other brand, then they're teasing us with her coming to the brand back home. So I'm hoping they when they do come, yeah, have it at Mania, and where the pops will go crazy, and maybe even Bayley goes back to her old entrance or a totally new entrance that night. I'm all for it. I feel this is a big year for the women as well in the WWE more than anything because it's been a good couple of years where they've been running with some great matches, which haven't been spoken about a lot. They've done a lot, and they've paved the way that this generation coming up, it's gonna be bananas. So yeah, bring the girls back.
All right, well, I asked that question only because of the fact that when Triple H took over WWE's creative, SummerSlam 2022, we had Bayley surprise everyone, and then she brought out Io Sky and Dakota Kai. So I can see something like that happening again at WrestleMania, which would be crazy because it's something that WWE fans have been waiting for a long, long time. With that, we'll move on to the next match that happened on Raw, which was the Awesome Truth versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And that match started with, again, R-Truth. Oh man, not even R-Truth. It started with the Miz coming out, and he did his intro, and then after that it was the Judgment Day. And usually when the Judgment Day comes out, they put up not a video, but like something where they have like four shadows basically showing all the members. But tonight they had an extra shadow, which was R-Truth, which was hilarious. Shane, you brought that up. I missed it because I wasn't in the room at the moment, but I went back and saw it, and it was hilarious. And then to see, Damian, Finn, Dom, and JD, and then in the background was R-Truth, and I was just like, this is hilarious. And then, once they got in the ring before the bell rang, R-Truth had the cuts for Finn Balor and Dominic. He drops Finn's money, which is a whole bunch of hundreds, which I wish I had a chance to go through the TV and take for myself, but he gave it to Finn and was like, "Yo, this is your cut." And then he reached in his pocket again and gave Dominic a wad of cash and was like, "Yo, bro, this is your cut for the shirts profits that we made," which was hilarious. And again, I thought this was a good match. As we know, Damian told Truth not to tag in, because Truth is a quote unquote member of Judgment Day, but he's also a member of the Awesome Truth tag team. And my guy, The Miz, the GOAT, was like, "Yo, bro, you're on my team. What are you doing?" And he was something like, "Yeah, chill, chill, chill." But I'm with them too. And while the match was going on and whatever that nature, Finn Balor tagged in Damian Priest, who seemed very hesitant to come in and actually, fight R-Truth, which is something that I was like, okay, I'm watching. And the match went on, and then it was a situation where Damian and R-Truth were face to face, and neither one of them did anything to the other one. It was like, yo, we're cool or whatever. And then Finn hit R-Truth with a super kick, something of that nature, and Damian caught him with the choke slam, and Damian looked very reluctant to have done that, and it was something that was picked up by Michael Cole as well. He was just like, he didn't want to do that, but he had to do it. He had to win the match at the end of the day. And my question was, but Shane already harped on it earlier. I was saying that, is there an underlying story with Truth and Damian Priest that's blossoming kind of before our eyes, but not really? I'll start with Jay first, and we'll end it with Shane, who kind of harped on this earlier.
Uh, this was a great match. It was hilarious throughout. And at one point, you forgot the point where JD McDonough also asked for his cut, and Truth was like, "You're not a part of the group, so
Right.
you don't get no cut." And put the money, just let the money be. So like during the match, when Finn hits him out the ring, Truth is like, "I'm physically hurt. Why are you hitting me?" I was dying laughing because you could see that, you know, there's a soft side to this story, and Priest that multiple times was breaking the character. You could see the giggles on his face, like, "Bro, this is too much. You're definitely my A1." And I feel Truth will help Priest when it's time to cash in Money in the Bank. I think that's the plan that Priest has, or going with him, because he seems, like you said, reluctant to want to do anything to him. Like everything that he's doing is gold for the group at the moment. So Priest, when he ended him, didn't even want to do it. He was just like, "Oh damn, fuck it, let me just finish him and let Balor take the pin." And just heading on into down the line with Priest and him, trust me, we could about to see some magic happen, and we're just only being sprinkled with the dust at the moment because there's more to come. Trust me.
Shane, before you go, I just want to add on to the fact, for those who aren't WWE watchers, that Damian Priest was also like the first person to attack R-Truth, but yet he was also the first person to agree to certain things that R-Truth was saying in regards to other members, aka JD McDonough, as far as like match stipulations and stuff like that. So he's been slowly agreeing with Truth and slowly you know uh, accepting Truth. And in the match he said to him, he was like, hey, do you want to be a part of us or not? You got to do this. So that's just a little ad lib that I wanted to add. But Shane, my man, go ahead and state your piece.
Yeah, first off, there's my apologies for my premature evaporation of the match from earlier, but we're talking about it now, so here's my take on everything. You see, R-Truth, as funny as he is, and some people may even call him a clown, this guy is real smart. He is brewing up something, and at the end of it all, we're all going to be shocked. See, what he's doing is he's in one side, he's saying that he's with the awesome truth, like he's doing things that will have us to believe that that's possible. But then on the same stage, on the same sentence, he would do something like to try to buy Damian Priest's respect and welcome to the group, because that's what he did today. He created a shirt with their names on it that became the top two selling merch in the WWE store. How smart is that? This is a plan. He is planning something where at the moment it's going to say, okay, dude, are you part of JD or are you part of Awesome Truth? Now, people are saying Awesome Truth will get together and then they can dethrone Judgment Day and become tag team champions. Or he can continue to get with JD, prove that he's legit with that group to a point where McDonough will be kicked out by the group. There's so much things that can go on here, but there's one thing for sure: either or, R-Truth is going to win.
I respect it. We had another match after that, but again, something we don't even need to get into. Natty, I don't care for.
Ah, come on, come
What do we need?
Got to
on.
talk about it. It
Why you
was a
gotta see?
match. You
Why you
have to
gotta see?
talk
Yep,
about it.
What do
yep.
we need to? What do we need to talk about that match for?
Because she was in it.
I have no questions for that match. So if y'all have any questions or input for that match, go ahead and do it on your own. But I'm not a part of it. Go ahead. I don't
My
care who.
my my question to you guys would be, why are these women all tag teams instead of being singles competitors? It just feels to me that they don't have any position for them at the moment based on what's going on with Rhea and Naya and Becky now.
Well,
Where do
just
you
answer.
where do you think they go?
You just answered your own question. You asked a question and you just answered your own.
Sorry, damn it.
You want to try that again? Again,
Nah,
that's like that's why I said there's nothing to be said about that match because there's nothing to be said about it. Shane, you want to try? You want to try, Shane?
You know, Jay, that was a great impression you just did of Dez, where you asked the question and then you answered the question with your own question. But I see what you mean, and
I
maybe
don't do
this is the answer to the question.
I don't do that. Okay, let's I don't do that.
it
Des, that was
Let's,
not a period or a comma.
I don't give a damn. I don't do that. Okay,
was
you get
quotations.
SmackDown, Des. I don't do that. I don't ask the question with answers to my own question. Okay, I asked you the questions and you answered the damn questions. I said that I want to talk about this match because there was no point in talking about this match. This was the real match where you use the bathroom and don't give a damn. And what happened?
Oh, so
Okay,
you just answered your own question.
I
Okay,
didn't ask
there
the
you
goddamn.
go.
I didn't ask
There
the
you
question.
go. But I will say this: I want to answer Jay's question, and then Jay, I think there was a significance of this match. So, and what you were saying, Jay, because you said, you have your handful of, your top tier women competitors, and then you have all of these, you have like these two different personality women that are tagging. Well, the reason is because there's only but so much time that they're giving the women anyway. So why not have them in, 2-on-2 matches or 3-on-3? Because that's the time that they're giving the women. They're only getting but so much time. So maybe
Thanks for
that would be an answer.
thanks for the
And
question. And I'll answer the question right now. No, the reason why that they're all grouped in tag teams is because of the fact that they only have one belt to go for, and that's the World Heavyweight Championship. There's nothing else for them to go for besides the tag team championships. Give them a intercontinental championship or something like that, a singles match. They don't have anything else to go for besides tag team championships. And again, when you merge the NXT and WWE tag team championships, you got three brands to spread that across, and they do a terrible job doing that. So that's my take on it. I think that they need to have another singles title that they maybe can contend for, but beyond the World Heavyweight Championship and beyond the Tag Team Championships in the women's division. Go ahead, Jay.
Right.
We
So
could go
everything
into
that
the
I
match
just said,
first.
Jay, didn't make sense. So yes, Jay, it's all on you. You mentioned at the chat that this was a significant match, like something. There was a collision between this match and then the match with Do It Yourself. Like, what was that?
Basically, yes, they was on the basically Shane. No, no, that was a tag. You talking about the tag match with Candice LeRae and Indy when they had their match.
He's
That's
mixing
totally yeah.
right.
He's matching up his matches.
He's mixing up what I said. I said that it was a story that Triple H started about a month ago with Gina and Shayna Baszler and them becoming a tag team and with Natty and Tegan Knox. I said that they started the storyline about a month ago. They didn't return to the story until tonight, which was odd to me. And it was a quick match. You know, it was basically a layover match to the main event. That's what I said.
My apologies.
But going back to that, yeah, we could say that basically when Gargano and Champa had their fight earlier, their fight was followed by you know, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, which is 4 out of the 5 members of the group that they had on NXT called The Way. All they needed was Austin Theory to be a part of Raw, and they will have that 5 together. But they're all baby faces at that, being on Raw, while Austin Theory's still a heel, and just look now, he's just basically lost in the shuffle on the other side, in the blue brand. You know, it's good to see that the NXT guys are actually starting to get their feet wet and everything on both ends of the stick. And you know, Indy, I felt that it was too early to bring her up because they called her up when she had a broken foot. It made no sense at all. You know, they should have kept her in NXT. And what they did was they made her drop the belt before she got up to the blue brand, had one little fight on the blue brand and broke her foot. You know, I was one that felt that she needed to still be polished a little bit more because she was just finding her footing on NXT prior to the injury. Uh, that's all I gotta say for that.
Alrighty then. Let me get back to who I am. I am Mundo. I am the host and moderator of Monday Night Raw. And I want to end off this episode with a question for the two haters, which are Triple J and Shane O'Mac. Is Cody Rhodes, is he one, overrated, two, overhyped, or three, is he just over with the crowd? I'll start with Shane. I'll end it with Triple J. Go.
All right, with my hater outfit on, huff. He is at this point overrated. The whole storyline thing, to finish the story, I've already said it. Your story was finished already. You had a chance to finish it on a high note, and you didn't. You finished your story the same way John Wick finished his. We see the pictures of you sitting there defeated, while in the background, your opponent was celebrating. That was supposed to have been you. That should have been your happy ending, but it wasn't. And you coming on to the ring every week with this, so what do you want to talk about? Dude, what is there left to talk about? You've had opportunity after opportunity, and look what happens. We'll get them again next time. We'll get them again next year. I've tried my best, but keep eating your vitamins. Keep getting high grades. And I will show up for your wedding as your best man. Because that's all the story is about this at this point. You talking on the mic, and then here comes Drew crying with you. What else is there? Another loss? Another defeat? Another sad story to tell? Another I'm sorry? I don't know what it is. So to finish putting on my hate outfit with my eyeliner and my wig, he is overrated, he is overcheered, and he is overdone. Period.
Jay?
I would like to say that Cody Rhodes is pretty much A and B out of what you said. You know, because I'm one who's been tired of the story because all I keep on seeing is Stardust, the man in purple and black, as I've stated before. I don't see him as the guy. The crowd likes him, the hype is there, but bro, your story was done when you lost to Roman. That was it. You shouldn't be given no more opportunities. You should be fighting other people the way, shit is coming at you. Fight other guys. Let us see you get to the story continuously fighting these guys. Other guys like CM Punk. Leave Seth out the picture because you know you could beat him. And, wait to draft night to go to SmackDown and then eventually try to find your way that way so we can talk about you on Fridays. Because to me, the storybook was closed a year ago and is not deserving anymore for him. I've been over him. When he did what he did to Triple H and the other brand and he smashed that sledgehammer, that was it for me. I lost all love for Cody Rhodes. I've always said he's going to be Stardust and he's going to remind me of that character because he's not it. He's not that guy material. He's more corporate. You know, to me, he's just overseeing the product to probably in the future take Triple H's place in creative. Other than that, that's all I gotta say.
Wow. Okay, those are some strong takes about Cody Rhodes, who seems to be the top face in WWE. Again, I want to say, Shane, you have something to say, Shane? Because
No, I'm sorry. I was just laughing at the fart. Like, that's what it comes to. It's like, dude, your story is so trash that you got your fans farting.
Yeah, I agree.
but
He's a piece of tard.
wow. But you guys don't find it odd that all of a sudden that now that Cody has stated that he wanted to finish his story, that CM Punk wants to finish what he started, Drew McIntyre wants to finish his issues. All of these wrestlers all of a sudden want to finish what they started in their stories and things of that nature. You don't find it weird? Um, I'll digress. I digress to my next show next Monday on Raw. But again, we want to thank and praise Martin Luther King for being that guy, who stepped up for our race and who sacrificed so much, and including his life for being a voice for the voiceless. Shout out to CM Punk. Um, and I thank everyone who participated tonight. I thank my guys, Triple J, Shane O'Mac, even though Shane O'Mac, you came at me tonight, but I thank you. I thank you, Donatella, for listening in. I thank you, Coach, for listening in and asking your questions. It's been a crazy night, and we'll see you again tomorrow for NXT, hosted by my guy, Triple J. Fellas, you have anything to say before we close this out tonight?
I'd like to say happy MLK Day once again. It's been a blast. Everybody who listened, we definitely appreciate you, Coast, Queen Donatella. Much love. Tristan, we know you had to handle some business. We thank you for being the co-host tonight. And on that note, I see everybody mañana at 10:15 p.m. for NXT. Yeet.
Yes, agreeing with everyone here at the table. Today is a special day where we look back at a great man, for if it wasn't for him, us three guys wouldn't have this table that is titled Three Bells. So, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we thank you from the bottom of our hearts so very much. And we thank you all who have joined us today, including Mr. Ghost and Miss Donatella. And shout out to Tristan Rollins for joining us and, taking care of your business for your little man. Shout out to the little baby as well. And we see you all tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing it. And Des, of course, I'm going to come at you like that. That's what we do. It's all in love, man.
Of course it is. Again, Trist Rollins, my boy, my man, my little cuz, thank you so much for being our co-host for tonight. Khalil, we thank you for your input tonight as well. I love you. We love all of y'all. Until tomorrow, 10:15, NXT. We out of here. Yeah. Oh
Whoop
yeah.
that trick. Whoop that
Woo.
trick.
Hey. Ah. Woo.
Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick.